Okay, this was a request from a student to look at how to ask our horses to back up. And I don't use this a lot, but it can be a useful exercise for horses that have trouble engaging the hindquarters, have been severely on the forehand. And what I usually see out there is people sort of wiggling to back their horse up, or pulling, leaning back to back their horse up, or kind of shoving their horse backwards. And so if I just push him back with the bit, you'll notice he sort of uses his front feet, or usually, well, first he gets stuck, right? And if I rush him, he's going to use his front feet to sort of push himself backwards. And the benefit of backing up, a huge part of the benefit, is teaching the horses that the front legs are meant to push upward, right? That's really the key to the correct placement of the hind legs and backing up well, whether it's a rein back or we're just doing it as an exercise to help our horses balance. So the first thing I'm going to teach on the ground, I'll also demonstrate this from the saddle, but the important part of backing up is reaching into the sternum area in the chest and pushing upward. So sort of giving an upward direction through the chest, right? And seeing if they can respond to that. So it's subtle, but you can see he pushed upward. So again, I'm just going to reach in there between his front legs on the pectoral muscle and ask him to lift upward. Some horses will go backwards just from that. But if they don't go backwards, I'm going to repeat that upward lift a few times. There's the upward, right? And then I'm thinking with my body, up and back, and letting that come through my hand. So can we go upward first? And then I usually get a step back if I keep asking for up. And it's a much better backup because they're using their back muscles and their hindquarters to come up, and it's a more controlled step backwards. I don't do more than that. If it's hard for them, I might do that a little bit frequently, or I might just do it once in a while. If they're not going to take the step back just from the lift up between the front legs, because all of these thoracic muscles are meant for the front legs to push upward. When they're on the forehand, they're basically braking with the front legs, controlling their body weight, and then they're paddling backwards. Where the front legs should go with every stride when the back is lifted and the hindquarters are engaged is the front legs should push upward and reach forward, and when they land, they push upward. So that's essentially the benefit of teaching a horse to back up, is just getting the lift between the front legs, and typically they'll back up just from that. If they don't, I can add a tiny bit of rein pressure, right? But I'm still going to reach in between the front legs, and then I might lift the bit into the corners of the mouth gently, which is what I'm going to have to do from the saddle, right? And that teaches them to pick the feet up as they back up. So that's how I do it on the ground. If the horse really struggles, another variation would be to lift on the reins so the bit is coming up into the corners of the mouth. So you're not, as soon as we pull or put bit pressure on the lower jaw, the horse is going to brace against that pressure on the lower jaw and then shove themselves backwards from the forehand. If we lift the pressure of the bit up into the corner of the mouth and then gently tap upward with the whip, we can just sort of wait until he figures it out, right? So it's better to get a few steps with the right directions of force, the correct mechanical use. You'll get a lot more benefit out of it than just getting the feet to move backwards any old way, shape, or form. So that's how I would do it on the ground. And then I will do a second video showing that from the saddle.